everyone. So I am going to be telling the story of my abuse and my experience with my ex-boyfriend. I'm not going to say his name just because I did have to go to court and get a protective order against this person. I'm not trying to reach out to him in any way. I'm just making that clear. This is not a rouse to try to reach out to him. I'm not going to be using his name. I just want to share my story as a survivor of mental and physical abuse. And I thought the easiest way to do this for me personally was to just do my makeup and talk about the story, so hopefully that I don't get as emotional. I thought it was just a way to kind of put a band-aid on a bullet hole. I'm already getting emotional. I don't know why. I am at my sister's house, actually. That's why I'm sitting here, because this is the only place with good lighting. Not that it even matters, because this is me telling my story, but it's important to me to tell this story just because there are a lot of things with the justice system that I'm going to get into that are really messed up and not okay, and I don't appreciate it and I don't approve. So I don't fucking know what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna start my story from beginning to end, and I'm gonna tell you why so many survivors don't try to get help or protective orders or restraining orders against people, because my story, even though I feel like I got a little bit of a crumb of justice, it's not I don't know. And although I was never punched, physically hit, or anything like that, it's my abuse story is still very valid, and your story is, it doesn't matter if your ex, I'm trying to think of an example. The littlest things and the biggest things, they all matter. They're all valid. That's what I'm trying to say here. So this is oh my God, I don't even know, but I just want to thank Oasis for supporting me through all the stuff with court systems. And I want to thank my family, my grandmothers, everybody that was there for me during this time, because my best friends, oh my God, because without them, and my sister, oh my God, everyone being there for me through this, because I feel like I bottled up so many emotions. I'm trying to not get upset. I haven't actually spoke about this. I don't want to be crying on the internet for attention. This is not what I'm trying to do. This is me trying to spread awareness. But honestly, I think that I've just pushed it in the back of my mind and not been able to process any of this, because I've only cried once. And I'm not trying to get pity. I'm really not. Oh my God. There's just been a lot going on, and I just feel dirty. I felt dirty, and I felt like a failure because of I did not think I was going to cry making this video. I thought it was okay, because it's been weeks. It's been a month. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. I think I'm crazy. I'm not. Okay, just to clarify that. Anyways, let's start with the beginning of this story on how let's do some background information. So, me as a person, I used to always give men and relationships benefit of the doubt. You should look, and oh my God, this is so bad. But there were already red flags into my relationship within the first 2 months. And my friends were trying to tell me, everything. I mean, there was lots of incidents that happened. Like, there was no physical harm, and there was no signs of, like, psychotic behavior or, like, whatever. But there was definitely some huge red flags and commitment issues and just attachment issues on his behalf. And I really do hope that he gets some help. I hope he goes to maybe therapy, or at least gets on medication, or just goes to jail eventually. That sounds harsh, but yeah. I don't know. I was with somebody for like 3 years, 4 years, and it was just like one of those adolescent, you think you're in love because you're in high school, puppy love relationships. It was not great. So I got into this relationship, and he was just, in my eyes, so much better. This was at the beginning of quarantine. This was like, we started dating in April 2020. And so everything was great. Like, he bought me stuff, we went on hikes, we did normal couple stuff. And I'm gonna try to do my makeup during this just so that I don't cry. I'm not trying to make a light of the situation. I just want to anyways, we got to get he asked me to be his girlfriend on April 25th of 2020, which was honestly not long after we'd probably been on like 4 dates, maybe 5. Then he asked me to be his girlfriend. So I was just head over heels happy. And obviously, when somebody is first around you, they want to be the best version of themselves that they can possibly be. And I should have known that. But with me, I give people the benefit of the doubt, and I just want to see the best in every person. And I don't want to just think that there could be something wrong with people, but it is super possible, and I need to be more aware of that in the future. You cannot just go out here and trust these guys, because you need to get to know somebody. And now, knowing what I know, I am going to, when I'm ready to pursue someone again, seriously, I want to hang out with them for like at least a couple months before I can really commit to them, just because I'm damaged, and like, it has changed me for the better, not for the worse. I'm just gonna say that right now. It has changed me for the better, not for the worse. But anyways, after we had started dating in April, in October, there was an incident where I don't even know, said he was gonna take me on a trip. I said, okay, let me see the reservation confirmation just so that I can know for sure we're going on a trip. Because it was kind of like, not that I didn't believe him, just I wanted the confirmation, because I still wanted to it was around Halloween. He always tried to deny that it was around Halloween. This is something that he would do all the time. I would say something that had happened in the past, and I would remember like exactly when it happened, and then he would try to say, that's not when it happened, that is not how it happened, that's not, you're wrong, you're crazy, whatever. And I'm like, what? And let me just say this, he was very good to me at times, but it was masking something dark and evil inside of him, very dark, very evil inside of him, that we're gonna get to. Anyways, we dated. We had our 1-year anniversary on April 25th. We had broken up a few times before that because of other things I don't really want to get into. But there was a lot of red flags, and my friends tried to, God bless my friends, they tried to tell me, guys, you need to listen to your friends, because if you don't listen to your friends and the people seeing this on the outside, I mean, don't take their 100% advice all the time, because sometimes they could just dislike your boyfriend, and your boyfriend could be very good to you and perfect for you. But my friends, oh my God, they try to tell me, girl. They try to tell me. And I saw the signs, and I should have left him. But at the end of the day, it does not excuse what he did or why this happened at all. I'm still a victim of him. Okay, so he needed me to pick him up about 30-45 minutes away from his grandma's where he was staying when he would spend time with me, because he has a residence in somewhere else. And so he needed his car to be worked on, so I wanted to hang out with him and spend the night. So he said, okay, come pick me up and we'll be good. So when I pull up on the road to get to his grandpa's house, it's really steep and my car is very low to the ground. So my car got stuck going up the road. And then this was before, was it before I was on medicine? I think this was when I was really fresh to my medicine. This was when I was really starting my medicine for generalized anxiety disorder. And what I didn't realize is sometimes it's the people around you. It's not you. But I really was having like a panic attack because my car got stuck. And I called him and I was screaming to him on the phone. And that kind of set the mood for the whole day. It kind of just pissed him off. And he never really knew how to handle my anxiety. And I tried to apologize about it and say I was just uncomfortable and that I freaked out. But then he wouldn't stop. So like it triggered me to just be like, why are you mad at me? And then I started crying because I just hate when people are upset with me, and I don't really know how to process those emotions, so I just get upset and I cried. And so I get to his grandma's and he's laying there, and I just feel like this is not what I want anymore. I need to break up with you. And so I try to leave and I go get in my car, try to drive off. He acted like he was fine with it, and then he comes up to the car and he starts beating on the windows. I'm sorry. I just need a second. I'm sorry. I didn't think that would trigger me. I don't know. I haven't really told this whole story in details. Like, I've told the story to people, my family, my friends, but like, being vulnerable and alone is like, it's really triggering. Oh my, oh my God. Okay. Anyways, he beats on my window, so I stop the car and I get out and I'm like, what is going on? No, that's not what happened. He's beating on the window, so I stop the car. He rips the open, grabs my keys, can't get them out, so he breaks this keychain. It was on like a really flimsy thing. He breaks it off. My key's still stuck in the ignition. I should have drove away, but he was in the car. And so then I'm just like, what are you doing? Stop. What are you doing? And he's like, and he just takes my keys out of the ignition. And then I go inside, and I have my phone at this point. And I go inside, and I'm like, please give me my car keys. I just want to go home. I just want to leave. I just don't want to be here. I just want to go home. And I probably said that over 100 times throughout the span of the night. I did end up staying the night there because I had no choice. So I'm begging him to give me my keys, and then I text my cousin, Hallie, and I'm like, blank just took my keys. And then he says, what are you doing? And then I went, oh, nothing. I'm just texting my cousin that you took my keys. Give me my keys. And I should not have said that. So he grabs my phone, puts it in his back pocket. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? In that moment, I'm like, am I going to be able to leave? I don't know. And so I take his phone, and then I don't know the password because he recently changed it. Oh my God, what is that? I don't know the password because he recently changed it. And I texted my cousin that he took my keys, but she's only 17. She's only 17. She's not going to know exactly what to do, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her for anything, so don't come in the comments saying, well, she could have called, blah, 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 and whatever. No, she did not know what to do in that situation. I shouldn't have put her in that position. I should have texted someone else, but, like, at least somebody knew kind of what was going on. And so I just keep begging him and begging him and begging him, give me my stuff, give me my stuff. I just want to go home. I just want to go home. And he takes his alarm clock and he throws it at my leg, and it didn't hurt or anything, but like, at that point, I was like, what is he gonna do to me? And so he comes up to me, and I'm sitting in the recliner in his room, and he takes his hands like this. It squeezes my head together as hard as he can and he says, look into my eyes. Look at what you're doing to me. And at that point, I just sit there, and my hand is like this, shaking. I'm fucking shaking. Whew. And I try to dart out the room. He blocks the door every time. He has a knife in his thingy, in his little dresser drawer thing. I take the knife and I say, and I just hold it. I don't threaten him with it or anything. I'm just holding it, and I say, and he looks at me and says, what are you gonna do with that? And then I just put it back, because even though I was in a very scary situation and I needed to leave, something in me just could not hurt him. I know that sounds psychotic, but I just couldn't do it. I was afraid to actually try to defend myself from him. I was afraid if I took that knife and tried to help myself, that he would take it back and kill me with it. Like, for real. After all this is in whatever, after he squeezes my head together, he pins me onto the bed like this, with my wrists up like this. He squeezes my wrist as hard as he can and puts his body weight on my chest. He makes me look into his eyes again, and he says, you look at what you're doing to me. You're making me crazy. Look into my eyes. And he had the psycho eyes like this. And I just said, ow, you're hurting me. I said, you're hurting me. You're hurting me. Get off of me. And then I get back, and he finally lets me go, and I just get in the recliner and sit, because I don't want to lay in the bed with him, and I can't go anywhere else. And so he is laying there, and he says, this is what makes people want to kill themselves, Riley. And I just didn't say anything. As the night goes on, there's more of me trying to get out of the room. There's more of me trying to grab my phone and keys. There's more of him pinning me down, putting force on me, scaring me to death. Eventually, I'm just so exhausted that I just lay down and go to sleep, because I can't do anything else. There's nothing I can do. In the morning, I persuade him to believe that I'm fine. He gives me my phone. I'm calling my cousin saying, hey, this is going on. I don't know what to do. She tells me just leave. But at that point, I didn't have my keys. I only had my phone. So what I had to do was be sneaky about it. And I just said, hey, I got to get some stuff out of the car. And then he said, why are you taking your purse? And I say, oh, and then I just leave a Tylenol bottle so that I leave something in the room. I go really fast when he's not really paying attention and get in the car, try to drive off. He puts his hands in my windows. At this point, I'm sobbing, but I'm on the phone with my cousin so she can hear everything. She's cussing him out. And he somehow manages to slide his whole arm in my window, and so I have to like undo the window, and then he forcefully opens the door and unlocks it, and I'm like screaming and crying, let me go. And then finally his grandma walks out there. I didn't even know she was home. While all this was happening that night, she was asleep downstairs, and there was nothing I could do to get anyone's attention, just because I just was so terrified that I just didn't know what to do. And I know there's stuff I could have done, but I just was so scared. I really was. I was so fucking scared for my life. Whew, oh my God. And so he's sitting in like between my door and inside of the car. His grandma makes him get up. And I know I'm leaving stuff out, but like, come on, guys. I just can't process this. Once I tell my story, I will get so much relief. Finally, the last image I see of his face is him saying, to his grandma, he says, I don't know why she's upset. I don't know why she's mad at me. I don't know why she wants to leave. She needs to give me a ride. His grandma says, I'll give you a ride. You need to let her go if she wants to go. I shut the door, lock it. He looks at me and says, I love you. And I'm just thinking, yeah, he does love me. He loves me in the way that a kidnapper wants to give somebody Stockholm Syndrome to be in love with him. That's what it was. And so I drive off and I just feel liberated. And then I get to my grandma's house and she's like, do we need to take legal action against him? Because I honestly did not know what to do at that point. So I just said, we talked about it for a minute and then I was like, yes, we need to take legal action. They told me to come back Monday because there was a bunch of stuff going on. It was justified though. I go back Monday, try to get a protective order. Didn't even know I was going to have to go into court. I go into court, share my story with the judge. They tell me it's going to take a little bit of time to contact him and get him to know that I'm trying to get a protective order. I come back the next court date. They tell me just to come back. They haven't got a hold of him. Finally, they get a hold of him. In between this time, I've had to block over 10 phone numbers and texting. He's texted me pictures, messages, everything on everything. It is freaking insane and psychotic, and I'm getting a text about once or twice a day from different phone numbers or Facebook accounts, Instagram accounts. He even ended up texting my friends trying to get to me. Yeah, it was scary. And so when we finally go to court and he's there, I wasn't even sure if he was going to be there. I didn't know anything. It was a different judge. He had an attorney present. I did not have an attorney. And so when I saw his face in the courtroom, my body shut down. I was shaking, crying. Literally, the lady from legal aid was trying to get me to sign some papers. And I was like, I'll be okay, I can do it. And my hand was like this, trying to sign papers, and it was uncontrollable. It was honestly terrifying, and it was so scary to see him. And I just felt like, oh God, sick to my stomach, because he had his hair slicked back, he had on a suit. I'm like, you're fake as fuck right now. You're being so fucking fake, and it makes me so sick. You're so fake right now. That is not you. You're because I was just wearing clothes, like nicer clothes, but I was still myself. I wasn't a fake version of myself. Anyways, that got moved up to another date, and so I had to see his ass again. And then the judge was mean to me. He was mean about the attorney. There was like a whole situation there, but at the end of the day, I had to end up getting I don't even know what it was called, but it was like a protective order, but it wasn't a protective order. Just because the justice system so freaking messed up, I had to do something else. I had to go to court 4 times just to get away from an abusive ex-boyfriend. Just to feel a peace of mind, I had to go to court 4 or 5 times. That's not okay. I was traumatized, put through hell, and it made it way worse. And I still feel like justice was not served that day. He had to look the judge in the eyes and say he's not going to contact me. But at the same time, why is it so hard to get a protective order? Okay. So, my name's Riley Jennings. And that's my story of abuse and how I survived. And now I feel like there's been a weight lifted off my chest sharing this story. And I just want everyone to know that men, women, non-binary, whatever you are, your abuse is valid, even if it was a little, even if it was just verbal abuse, up to physical abuse, up to anything, mental abuse, doesn't matter. Even if it was one time or if it was 10 times, you're valid. And I love you, and I just want to thank you for listening to my story, because it's something that I've kept inside for so long, and I just want people to know the truth. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.